This is the story of Judah with his family. But what happens is he goes away from his family and he settles in the land of Canaan, and he marries a Canaanite woman, and they have 3 children. And his oldest son grows up and marries a woman named Tamar, which we also assume is a Canaanite because they're living in the Canaanite land. And then, but it says that this man did wickedness in the sight of the Lord, and so God killed him. That's all we know about him. We don't know what he did wrong, but he did something wrong and God killed him. And so his son, the next son, married her according to the Levirate law that we talked about a while ago, that you have to marry the childless widow. And he married her, but it was all an illusion. Like he was trying to obey the law, but he really wasn't, because he purposefully did not have any children with her, because he didn't want his children to have his brother's name. He wanted them to have his name. And so he purposefully didn't have any children with her. And that made God angry, and God killed him. And so Judah only had 1 son left. And he's like, every time I marry these boys off to this girl, they die. And so he's scared to marry Shelah to Tamar. And so he tells Tamar, he says, hey, go back to your family and stay there until Shelah gets a little older. And then when he gets older, I'll call for you and y'all can get married. But this was really all a ploy. He just was putting her off and never really intended to do anything of the sort. But this put Tamar in a very bad situation, because she couldn't remarry unless he released her. And so she's bound to this family. Once she is married to the first son, then she's bound to marry the second son and the third son. And all of her children are supposed to inherit that man's land and his name and all of those things. And so she's bound to this family, and yet he won't give him that son, that son. And so when his wife dies, Judah's wife, she realizes he's never giving me Shelah. And she finds out that he's coming to town. And so she dresses up like a prostitute and stands on the square, and Judah actually sleeps with her. And that was her whole plan. And so after Judah sleeps with her, she becomes pregnant by her father-in-law. And I won't go into all the details as to what happens between them after this, but Judah does end up taking her sons in. She's pregnant with twins, and he adopts those sons as his own. So they should be his grandsons, but they're actually his sons.